Hello, Ayu and Anna. It's a pleasure to have you here, and it's exciting because you are two fresh faces
Yeah.
as speakers in the community. Personally, we both are excited to have you here. So,
Thank you. Thank you for having
Maybe,
us.
maybe you could just tell us quickly a little bit about where you're from, where you work, what brought you to the Umbraco community. Because again, as Purnima says, fresh faces, we don't know you too well.
Very
Yeah.
good.
Okay. So yeah, we're from Luminary. We are from Indonesia. We're working at Luminary with Emmanuel as well.
We love
And
Emmanuel.
yeah, we
yeah.
are so excited today to share our story about our topics.
Yeah, and me too. I'm Anna. Also from Luminary. We resided in beautiful Bali. Um,
Ooh,
yeah, we're quite new in this Umbraco community. That's why when asked us and invited us to join in and get a taste of some Umbraco, we get excited to it, and it's really exciting.
Fantastic. Well, I know that you're going to be talking about the block list, which is something I'm particularly excited about. I'm
Yes.
keen to see how you've used it and what you've done with it. So, whenever you're ready, take it away.
Cool.
Thank you.
I'm sure the community is going to love you and going to support you so well.
All right, cool. Hi, do you want to start first?
Yep. So good evening from Indonesia and welcome to our session. Would like to thank you to Umbraco community to give us a chance to share our story about cervical cancer and charts. And today we will discuss the project that we've been working on using Umbraco, particularly using its features on block list to build a dynamic graph. And we have put together a lot of valuable information and we are excited to share it with you. So let's get started. Okay, first of all, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Ayu Laksmita. I am web dev at Luminary, and I've been working at Luminary for around 3 years and have expertise using Umbraco, Kentico, and Sitecore. And from the last 10 years, I have experience working on desktop apps as well. And that's me. Now let me introduce to my colleague Anna.
Thanks, Ayu. Yeah, so my name is Anna Setiyani, but you can call me Anna. I'm a web developer, mostly on everything backend side, and I'm also have been working about 3 years in Luminary. I think I joined in right after Ayu joined in, so so my expertise is all about backend in .NET, either in desktop, web, CRM, and etc. And now let's get this session started. First of all, I would like to spill up our agenda for today. We are going to give a little bit of background on cervical cancer, then we move on to project objectives and challenges, continue to dev approach to solve the challenges, and how Umbraco Blocklist provided solution for our project. Last but not least, the content and charts of the solution. And so let's get moving to our first agenda. Ayu?
Thank you. So to open our session, let's begin with the cervical cancer. So cervical cancer is the fifth most common cause of cancer death among women, and nearly all cervical cancer are linked to infection of the HPV virus. And every year, more than 300,000 women die from cervical cancer. And 80% of cervical cancer deaths occurs in low and middle income countries. Poor access to prevention, screening, and treatment contributes to 90% of death because of this cervical cancer. And why the site is important? Now we think it's appropriate time to talk about the cervical cancer today, since January is the Cervical Cancer Awareness Month. This cervical cancer is preventable and treatable, and we are all committed to end this disease by get informed, to find out the facts about this cervical cancer and this virus, get screened. Cervical cancer screening is typically start at age 30 and is repeated periodically. and get vaccinated. This HPV vaccine is given in 2 doses and should begin when a girl is between 9 to 14 years old. So what is C4? The C4 stands for the Center of Research Excellence in Cervical Cancer Control. C4 is made up of researchers from Cancer Council, Kirby Institute, the University of Melbourne, and ICPCC. C4 enable the vaginal self-collection, a choice for all people, and the correlation between C4 and cervical cancer in Australia is the C4 provides annual report on cervical cancer elimination progress report. It's one way of Australia's progress towards eliminating this cervical cancer as a public health problem. Next, we are going to move to the next agenda today, and I will pass it to Anna.
Thanks, Ayu. So on previous version of C4 report, to access a report, you need to download the PDF files within this menu. The text, tables, and charts are all wrapped up in a PDF format. But to update it, needs to be regenerated into the PDF format. Now, if you take a look 2-row data sheet from the client, this wouldn't be easy to understand. Too many numbers, columns, and tables, and pretty confusing, right? So then we have this chart to visualize the data that probably a little bit understandable, but we need some supportive information for these charts. Then the client compile it in PDF format to make it presentable, readable, and easy to understand. This is a sample page for the indicator 3, detection of high-grade cervical disease data. And as mentioned before on PDF page reports, it contains text like this one. Tables containing the values of visual data and colorful charts, so it's easier to understand. From this PDF report file, what do clients expect for their new sites? Well, they are expecting their new format to be easier to update. So we, the team and client, come up with solutions. We need to present all contents in PDF in web format and manage the contents from the back office admin section. In this case, after considering budgets and the timelines, client and our team choose Umbraco as CMS. So why we choose Umbraco for building reporting site for C4? Umbraco is a cost-effective open source CMS built on Microsoft.NET and written in C#. Umbraco offers high flexibility, security, and scalability, and it's also known as a friendly CMS. It gives users and content editors a flexible content management strategy, intuitive editing experience, and extreme responsiveness. And it also supports cross-platform. Umbraco offers the flexible environment functionalities that are easy to learn. Umbraco can grow along effectively with business owners. From here, we need to move to the front end and design UI solution. From the PDF report mode to website report mode, how do we do that? So our designer comes up with this 2 things: create layout and design the pages, build the wireframe. The wireframe is pretty much standard like this, with black and white and some text and some charts on that too. Then after some back and forth feedbacks from client and our teams, our designer began to fill colors in some parts, play with images, put some lorem ipsums in the sample contents. And from here, from the wireframes, the front end and back end developers decided to chop it off into some parts, the component sections and pages like as seen as in this slide. This is what it looks like in homepage design and UI. The hero banner component will look like this. Then the chart component will look like this in a mock page using dummy data. And then next indicated cards contents that look like a card containing numbers and text data will just look like this. And here's a table component with some colorful header and icons, some numerical text. Kind of tempting to see, right? So after all the design, chart prototypes are ready, next is how we approach to the solutions but from the developer's perspective. So we gotta need to display content and the data, but how is it? Visual representation help us to understand the data quickly, but which kind of chart of graph should we choose? How to tell with charts? To figure that out, we need a good understanding about the data and how these graphs and charts will work. When making charts, build the chart with supporting information and outcome that we want to achieve, and keep your charts clear and simple. To build the contents, we will need to create chart reports data so that user can input the data manually from the CMS. We also need to create table to display the simplest format of the data to support the charts. And to show the content, we also need to create some other supportive components. An example, notification model, pop-up, and etc. So we come to the setup Umbraco, how it goes. So from our backend perspective, we're going to set up or installing Umbraco in our each local staff and live environment. We need to set up a new database, and we need to write the script and execute it for setting the Umbraco environment up. We also need to set up Azure storage made for media files, but we'll not talk about that in the session. But in this special case, we need to mention our fellow speaker today, Paul Seal, for his tip to generate the script on the fly and easy like ABC. Thank you for making our life easier and setting the Umbraco on all environments. We only need to put some essential settings in this tool, and there you go. The script is ready to execute in designated environment. We got the DB ready, script ready. We got to execute it in our terminal, and then voila, you got your Umbraco site on your local. This is how the freshly installed Umbraco back office looks like. Probably most of you are very, very familiar with this one. So what we got from the learning process during this development process, of course, we stumbled upon some obstacles. Data has not ready from the client. Well, what did developers do when they got no data? Assume we're thinking too much about the data structures, and it caused another problem, wasting time on short R&D ticket for too long. But we didn't give up. We insist to make it work. As a team, we decided to work in parallel, effective communication between team members, and escalate issues as soon as we found any problem. And that's the end of the approach agenda. Sorry. Next agenda is the back office part, and it will be delivered by my colleagues. Ayu, see.
Thank you, Anna. So, what's in the back office? One of the Umbraco time feature that we use a lot in this project is block list. Block list is a list editing property editor which uses element types and contains a list of inner documents or blocks of contents within a content node. And it helps control how the blocks are displayed, edited, and validated. And creating and updating blocks is intuitive and easy to work with. And for more information about how to set up block types, editor appearance, data model, and rendering can be seen more in these following links. All right, now I'm going to show you the block list components that we have in our project. So here in our back office, under the document types folder, we have all our components listed in the components folder. And one of the components that has block list type here is the indicator card component. This is the list of the indicator card component and the cards filled here using the block list. And this component has the indicator card item as its available block, and the minimum amount of the indicator card is set to 1. Now, this indicator card item is listed in the items folder, and Let's try to create this indicator cards component. This is our home page, and now I will add the indicator cards component. I will click on the add content, and then we'll select the component from the list. Let's fill some data for the fields, and then add the card item and fill some data into it. Okay, and then input value for the card item and click on create. Let's copy the card item so that we have some items in these indicator cards. And let's update some of the data for the cards item as well, probably the indicator card as well. And we now have it, and this is what it looks like in our homepage. So it displayed properly. That's our indicators card component using the block list. Now, how we created the charts. We've got the charts design and UI already, and then we create a custom chart component in the back end. And here on the screen is our report data class, and this class we create chart view model, data object, and some supporting classes. And this is our chart component authored class. And in this class is basically used to set the chart variant, set the bar style, and to return a JSON object in a format that the chart component can use. And the last is our chart component view to display our chart in the front page. And in this video, I'm going to show you how we create a chart component and also to input the data manually from the back office. Let's add the component to the home page. And the chart component is wrapped in the figure component. So let's fill the data for the fields and add the chart component as well. And here in the generic settings, we have the chart variant, and there are some kind of bar chart that we can use, the vertical bar, multi-bar chart, stack, and bar overlap. And for this example, I will going to use the vertical bar variant. And if I go to the data, we can set the data set as well here. And I'm going to select the vertical bar one as the name, and then add some data items. For example, label 1 with some value, label 2 and label 3 for the data items. And then we'll select the bar color, for example, green for this one. And yep, we'll create this one. And then let's create another data set. And I will name it vertical bar 2, and then put some data items into it as well. Select yellow as the bar color for this vertical bar 2, and then create the chart. And this is our chart component displayed on the very bottom of the list. And let's move it under the cervical cancer mortality indicator cards component. Save publish the page and then open it in the front page. And yeah, as you can see here, the chart is published and displayed properly. And if we hover it, we will be able to see the data value. And we can also use the filter to see the data that we would like to see. And that's our chart. And next agenda for today is content data. So from the previous originated PDF reports that has been displayed earlier, we need to divide them into several categories and 12 different indicators. And the categories are disease outcomes, vaccine coverage, screening coverage, and treatment uptake. And to support those categories, we need to create several pages for the report contents. And here, for example, is our C4 homepage. And As we can see, there are some components to build this homepage. We have the hero banner on the very top, and then we have accordion, executive summary, progress table, tabs, and also the pagination. And we would like to show you the homepage in the live site. So here we have hero banner component on the very top, and then under it we have the accordion in the colorful section, and it followed as well by the executive summary component, and on the right side is the notification component displayed in the two columns. And we also have the table component appears in the colorful header and the tabs component. And we can add another component inside the tabs. And in here, we add some indicator cards. So this is what our homepage looks like. And next, this is our disease outcome indicators page. We have some indicators and charts listed for the components, as we can see in the content. And in the live side, let me show you the disease outcome indicators page looks like. So in this page, we have some indicators and chart displayed. On the screen is cervical cancer incidence indicator. It has WHO target, status, and on the left side is the stats card component, displayed the number of the incidence rate in women. And under that is the chart component of the cervical cancer incidence. We can hover the chart as well to see the data value. And also there is a filter as well. So the filter can be used to filter the data that we would like to check. We have some other charts in here as well. And one of them is the cervical cancer mortality charts. And all of the charts are designed to be easy to read for the public. And there was some charts available on the site. So yeah, for now, this is the URL of the Cervical Cancer Control report. So make sure to visit the site and get informed to the most recent data of cervical cancer report in Australia, or pass it to the other people who you know can have the benefit of the site. Okay, so this is the list of resources that we've used in the community during implementation of our project. We've used Umbraco documentation where we can find examples, tutorials, references, and best practices to build application in Umbraco. And Umbraco learning base in YouTube. We found lots of interesting and helpful topics here in the Umbraco YouTube channel. And one of my favorite Umbraco tutorial in YouTube is the channel by Paul Seal. So many useful step-by-step tutorials and very informative. And if none of above resources can help during our implementation process, we are very lucky to have Umbraco MVPs as our go-to person, Emmanuel Tisera and Mario Lopez. So thank you so much. Yes, we have two Umbraco MVPs at Luminary. And the takeaways are cervical cancer can be 100% preventable with access to the right information. The cervical cancer elimination progress report site represent the data in charts format that are easy to understand and is accessible for public. And this site can help to educate people and inform Australia's progress towards the elimination of cervical cancer as a public health problem. And that will be all for our session today. And thank you so much for joining, and back to you in the studio.
Hi.
So,
Yeah.
welcome back. And that was fantastic, Ayu and Anna. I don't think we felt it was a first time talk from them, did
Yeah,
we?
No, exactly. It looked incredibly well polished, so well done. There's a lot of praise for you
Praise
in
for
the
you.
chat here as well. There's people saying that the solution looks really excellent, like it's showcasing kind of all of the different possibilities and what's great about Umbraco. So well done. High five, you rock, as we say in the
Absolutely.
Umbraco community.
And they've spoken about a great course as well, for
Yeah.
which Umbraco has provided the solution, which is even fantastic to see. So how are you both feeling after your first talk? It is incredible to see the
Nerve-wracking.
amount of praise and support you're having from the community here. We would
Thank you
love to
very
see
much.
more of you in the community.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Absolutely. If there's any chance for us to join in,
Yeah.
we'll try.
Fantastic. Looking in the chat, I saw that Emmanuel mentioned that there is a Bali, a dev meetup coming up on February 9th. There's more
Yes.
Umbraco focused things. So are you getting active in the local community or local dev community in Bali?
Yeah, we did have some sessions in Bali for meetups,
Yep.
but not just about Umbraco, but
Mhm.
about a lot of stuff. So basically, we want to gather all the developers in Bali together around to share their experiences and anything new in technology. I know the technology world is like moving so fast right nowadays. So yeah, we get that session whenever we can.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Usually every month.
I've never had the privilege of coming to Bali. I don't know if there's a big development community there or not, but is there an Umbraco community in Bali? Is there, or is Luminary the only company using Umbraco that you know of?
I think, yeah, we just know.
We just knew us to
Luminary, yeah.
have the Umbraco, but
Amazing.
yeah.
Wow, that's fantastic. It's really great to see you getting involved in the community. Hopefully, if it's your first taste of the Umbraco community, you can get more involved. You mentioned Emmy and his MVP, and Mario as well, of course, being an MVP. Both, I
Yeah.
know them both very well. Great assets to
Yeah.
the community. Hopefully, you can come to Code Garden or something one
Yes.
day. Submit your talk,
Of
perhaps.
course.
Of course, thank
It'd
you.
be lovely to meet you both in person.
Absolutely.
Thank you very
Absolutely.
much.
That's for the community spirit, I guess.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, again, as we said, high five you, Rock. Really great talk. The chat seems to love you.
Yeah.
And yeah, great to see you. So now we'll just quickly. We said we're going to launch a competition. There's 2 minutes left of the competition, but I think we actually have a clear winner already. So
Yeah.
we will announce the winner
Yeah.
just after this, I think.